Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hi, I just had a question for you guys. Needed to know if my plan, I know nothing about really you guys, is just I'm an idiot, or how much of it is I'm an idiot to try to get everything straightened out financially.
Well, don't beat yourself up too much. You don't know us, and yet you decided to call us. So somebody close to you said, Alan, call these guys. Am I getting this right?
Yes, you guys have been referenced to me before by a coworker over a year ago. I wrote it off as nothing and then was like,
oh, boy.
Maybe there's something to it.
That tells us actually how desperate you are.
You're like, fine. A year later, I'm desperate. I'm going to call these clowns and see if they can help me.
We'll do our best, Alan.
We will do our best. Give us a little bit more detail here on the real problem.
All right. So me and my wife are pregnant. Well, I'm not. She is.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Pretty soon. I talked to try to file bankruptcy. That cost over $2,000, so I didn't do it. They estimated me at about $12,000 in debt, and that's including her car. I don't have one.
You tried to file bankruptcy over $12,000?
Yeah. Now, I told you I don't know what I'm doing, how much of an idiot I am. I don't know.
No, let's stop.
Well, I'll tell you this. Bankruptcy is not your answer.
Yeah.
You guys are the solution to this problem. And so we're going to get you out of it. You're working full-time?
Yes, my hours vary, and so does my paycheck. It's highly inconsistent.
What kind of work are you doing?
Geotechnical field technician.
That sounds really fancy. What does that mean?
Summed up, construction needs testing done before they can build or any of that. I run a bunch of tests.
Okay. But that's not a consistent 40-hour-a-week gig?
Sometimes it can be just below 40 hours. I'll make less than $400 or $500. Sometimes I'm working almost 60 hours, still make less than $800.
I'm so
I never
confused.
know what my check's going to be.
What is is it an hourly rate? Who's setting this?
It's $15 an hour.
Okay, I think you need to be making more money doing something this
better job. So let's just check that off the list.
My boss told me today, that he was looking to give me a raise soon, but has no idea how much or how little it'll be.
Does that that just makes my head hurt listening to that entire sentence.
Right, but I'd come back to them because we had moved back up to Georgia from Florida because that was a bust at every avenue, and they were the only place I could find to go back to work for. I did get my real estate license in Florida, and I got the paperwork printed out to transfer it up here. So my plan is to try to get what time I have not working, because I could work through the weekend at a moment's notice. You get told at the end of the day whether you got to be at work.
Hey, Alan, you're making too many excuses as to why you're stuck. That's
where my plan comes in is I want to get into the real estate and find a secondary gig.
Dude, that is a luxury. You need money now.
Yeah.
Not I hope to make a commission 7 months from now to sell my first house.
Yeah.
I'd be working 60 hours a week doing retail and you'll make more.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. You can be making $20 an hour stocking shelves somewhere at this point. You've got to get really intentional. This whole I'm an idiot act, it's a function of, if I can be very straight with you, you're making a lot of excuses. And George is right. You presented us with $12,000, which in the grand scheme of things, my friend, is not a lot of money to pay off if you have intentionality. In other words, a much better paying job, and then you do what George tells you to do to pay it off.
The debt mathematically is not your issue here.
Absolutely. I understand. I just started getting real with these things like a wake up this week. So I knew I had nothing together.
All right, well, listen to George here.
I think here's what happened. You got a baby on the way, and it was a reality check.
That's right.
And you went, oh, my goodness, I got to be like an adult all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And your wife is feeling the stress, too. Is she currently working?
She doesn't care about money.
She does when she doesn't have it, and she can't feed her baby.
All right,
she's got to start caring.
Walking through how he gets out of this. Listen, Alan paid attention like you've never paid attention to anything else in your life.
You need income ASAP. The debt, I'm guessing the minimum payment is a few $100.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you owe $12,000, and it's a car?
It's a couple of things. A credit card, her car, a lawyer from a previous divorce. That's only $2,000. Didn't even use them. And
What's the
like
car worth,
little-
and what do you owe on it?
I believe she said the car's worth like 20 something, 30. And it should be paid off next year.
No, what
before
do you
middle
owe
of
on the
year.
car?
I think like 7.
You need to sell that car today. It's worth $30,000, and you owe $7,000.
I think that's what she said last time I asked her about it.
So you could make $23,000 from this sale, use that to pay off the rest of your debts, and still have money left over to buy another car used in cash. You hear that? You just solved the problem right there, Alan. And then the next step is let's get our income up and start stacking up cash so that we have some when the baby's here. You guys are going to be debt-free with an emergency fund by the time this baby arrives into this world. Mark my words. And we're going to send you Financial Peace University. You and your wife sit down, watch all 9 lessons, and then you will be on the Ramsey train on the path to building wealth.
And Alan, let's change the label. You're not an idiot. You're a good man. You're a husband. You're a father. You're a hustler. Pick a label, own it, and go happen to this situation. George just gave you the game plan. I'd be listening to that car in the next 5 minutes.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.